Good afternoon, everybody, and good evening, depending on where you are across the globe, because we do have some individuals from the media that are in the UK and also in Germany as well. Good afternoon to those that are in North America and also within Jamaica as well. Welcome to this post-match press conference for the friendly international against Jordan. And we'll also look ahead to the 2023 edition of the Concacaf Gold Cup. The squad will be revealed in a few minutes from now. To my immediate right, we have head coach of the Reggae Boyz, Heimer Hallgrimsson. To my immediate left, assistant coach Maron Gordon. And to his left, we also have assistant coach John Wall as well. Before we get into proceedings, just a reminder to everybody to put their microphones on mute, and we will get the show on the road. Firstly, we're going to get some initial reactions from coach in relation to the result today against Jordan, and then we'll go right ahead into the 23-member squad selected for the Gold Cup. So, coach, firstly, the 1 week in Austria and also the friendly international from today, your thoughts about how the last 6-7 days, how it's been?
Yeah, it's been quite good. We have at least seen these players that are here. They have had a chance to not only show themselves on the training sessions, but also a lot of playing time for these players. So it's good in that way. They have had their chance to show what they can do. And yeah, we are happy that we can provide at least good matches, good opponents for them. So happy with the time here in Austria. We are, of course, not happy not to win, especially the game today. I think it was a good opportunity to win. Very strange game, in my opinion. First half was quite good. So the plan was to go high and press them and win the ball high up on the pitch. We knew that they are a good passing side, but we wanted to use this opportunity to go higher up on the pitch and play a high press. Pretty good. Got better and better in the first half, so we were happy with the first half. In the end, it was a good energy, good attitude, had some good build-ups in attack, and got really good goal-scoring chances. So 1-0 halftime, and we were pretty satisfied. Of course, we had some things we wanted to improve. Second half was then a little bit strange. We were lacking the energy we had in the first half. So less energy. We created still very good chances to finish the game with a second goal in the match, but we didn't. And we had some really good openings when we went forward, but still we were open and not balanced and or focused in defending. So they got two really good counterattacks and scored two transition goals. Both of them came from a great goal scoring chances from us. We didn't shoot that goal. We didn't finish the attack and ended up conceding on the other end. Both goals similar in that way. We had a great chance to score, but we conceded in return. So heavily punished, punished really hard for not finishing and taking our chances. But second half, some silly decisions, silly executions or bad executions in passing, in decision. So not happy with the second half. And then when they scored the second goal, it was kind of a street football and could have gone either way. But in the end, we only managed to score one goal. Happy with some things, unhappy with other things. So it was clearly a better game than against Qatar. So let's hope we can continue to improve.
Thank you very much, Coach. Before we get into the Gold Cup squad revelation, Coach Wall, Coach Gordon, anything to add to Coach Hallgrimsson?
As I said, I think there were a lot of positives in the game. We also learned some more from some of the players, what they have to offer, what they can offer. And I think, the young kid came over, we asked him to play out of position and he did a comfortable job. So things like that is a positive. We'll just build from here.
John, anything?
No, purely objectively, it's the X amount of entries that we had on the final third is reasonably high, and play the game again, it would go the other way. There's obviously feelings connected to it, but we're going to review the game tonight and walk it through. And well, now we don't have time, it's just the US.
All right, at this point in time, we're going to put a graphic on your screen in terms of the 23 that has been selected for the Gold Cup. And afterwards, we get a few remarks from Coach Hallgrimsson, and then we'll open the floor for questions. And just a reminder, we'll follow the same format like we did yesterday, where we'll have broadcast and print media being able to indicate by raising their hands first, to be able to indicate to ask a question to any one of our coaches, and then we proceed to online media. So broadcast and print, and then of course to online media. So in just a moment, you will see the squad that is on your screen, and I'll read it out for you. The goalkeepers, Andre Blake, as made mention yesterday, this would be his fifth Gold Cup that he's a part of. He joins Dwayne Miller as the only other Reggae boy that has been part of 5 Gold Cup squads. Jamali Waite and Kanaya Boyz Clark. The defense, Amari Bell, Ethan Pinnock, Dishon Bernard, Adrian Mariappa, Dexter Lambikisa, Damian Lowe, Javane Brown, and Kemar Lawrence. Kemar Lawrence also joins Andre Blake as well, being part of 5 Gold Cup squads. In the middle, Kevon Lambert, Jonathan Russell, Joel Latibader, Bobby Reed, Daniel Johnson, and alongside him, Kahim Paris. And of course, the attackers, Michael Antonio, Shamar Nicholson, Leon Bailey, Corey Burke, Dejon Richards, and Demarai Gray. That is the squad that you're seeing on your screen. And now we will turn over to Coach Hallgrimsson, who will give his assessment of the squad that has been selected as we start to make our transition from Austria towards Chicago.
Yeah, well, first of all, these are the players we think can do a good job for Jamaica in the Gold Cup. Could we have selected others? For sure, but these are the guys we select and think is best to do the job for us. I hope Jamaicans will support these players, even though you think that someone might have been there instead of these guys. These guys will represent Jamaica, and we certainly wish that Jamaicans will support them in the Gold Cup. After the tournament, we can talk about this one or that one should have been instead of this one. But in the Cup, let's support these guys who will do their best to represent Jamaica. So maybe logistical thing, we needed to select and send to Concacaf the final 23-man squad the same day we played Qatar. So this is the list we sent at that time. Maybe other logistical things in this is, yeah, it is not given that you will have all the players you call up for a tournament like this. Today, professional leagues are long and difficult, and the summer period is the only time these players have for holidays and resting. And we want to thank these players to show their dedication to Jamaica and sacrificing their holidays to represent their nation. And I think that is not a given thing. Before we go further, I think is because we always want to be honest and avoid confusion in our meetings. The only player at the moment that cannot come to Chicago is Ethan Pinnock. Now we all knew that his wife was giving birth to their 4th child. It's a healthy girl, and we like to use the opportunity to congratulate them with that. Everything was going well, but there were some complications now with his wife after the birth, after coming home. So So it's a critical situation. Normally, a coach and a coaching staff would say it's personal reasons, but we both agree on that we should share it with you guys now. It is nothing more important in life than your family. So then football will be put aside at this time. But we are monitoring the situation, so we'll take it a day by day. We are in good communication. As soon as we think it's appropriate time and everything is okay, he will join us. So hopefully that will be sooner rather than later. But of course, we wish them all the best and a speedy recovery, and will show him the respect of allowing him to stay with his wife and his family until everything is okay. But he sincerely wants to come, but we all understand the situation as it is at the moment.
Okay, thank you very much, Coach. At this point in time now, we'll open the floor for questions from the mainstream in terms of broadcast and also print media. And we will open the floor starting with Mr. Livingston Scott. You may go ahead, Livingston.
Yes, morning to you, Simon, and all the coaches. Yes, Coach, you mentioned playing on the front foot, trying to press the team high up the pitch and win the ball high up the pitch. But we saw this vulnerability to the counter-attack. How much a concern is it? Can this be addressed? First of all, is this a style you will be implementing at the Gold Cup, and can this be addressed before that time, Coach?
Yeah, first of all, it's a style we must use at some point in some games when we, for example, when we need a goal. So we wanted to get the experience in this game, at least to try it. Little setback before this game, we planned Joel Latibatier to play the defensive midfield role, but because of paperwork in FIFA thing, he could not play this game, so it was a shame. But yeah, we were hit on the counter, and we need to learn from this experience. But of course, this is a style that we want to have in our armory going forward to a camp, and we never know when we need to go and high press and take chances and score goals. And then we must learn from this and not to concede while taking some chances going forward.
I'm concerned about Mariapia, Coach. He looked a bit slow in his reaction and those sort of play. Think that is the age factor. It is obvious at this point.
Yeah, I have to apologize to Mariappa live, because I haven't spoken to him after the match. It was not planned from any of us to play a single player 2 times 90 minutes, but in the end he needed to do that because of we needed to take off Dijon Bernard. We were afraid that he would get a red card, so the plan was to give Mariappa 45 minutes this match, so he needed to do another 90-minute match. And on this stage, coming back after a holiday, it's too much for every player, and probably a little bit more difficult for player his age to do 2 times 90 minutes in such a short notice without having a lot of recovery time. But I'm not afraid of he will be ready for the Gold Cup. He now needs 2-3 days to recover and be ready for US.
Also, one more thing, Coach.
Quickly.
We're still that win is still elusive for you and the team, Coach. We all know winning can be a mental thing. Think this might affect the players psychologically going forward in terms of not getting the win, any win at this stage going into the competition.
Yeah, it's often said that winning is a habit, but sadly losing can be that as well. So of course, it is something that we don't want to carry on doing. But I think the mindset for the Gold Cup will be a lot different. a lot more different than for these games, and the setup for that games are going to be different. I sincerely hope that we will stop not winning and go forward and getting good results in the Gold Cup. I believe so, but of course, and we are not hiding behind. We're not happy with the losing, and especially this game. We should have won it. We don't need to talk around that. We should have won this game, but we lost it, and that is not a good thing.
Thanks, Livingston. Let's now go to Rashid Parchment, the Observer.
Yes, good afternoon, gentlemen. I'll try to condense my questions because I know everyone wants a chance. So yesterday you said that performances are more important than a win, even though you wanted a win. But from what I saw today, we lacked some of the fundamentals. I saw players falling over trying to receive long balls. I saw players not marking at the back post and failing to deal with balls across the area. Now, with that in mind, and of course, the 6 or so players rejoining the squad, and there's not enough chemistry between those players ahead of the World Cup, how do we rectify this in such a short space of time?
Well, we have been working with most of the players joining us in Chicago, so that would not be, the tactical part would not be new to most of them at least. So I'm not worried about that. But of course, when you play a friendly like this, just to back you up, when you play a friendly like this, you want players to perform and use the opportunity they are given in the national team. So we want them to grab the opportunity and use it. So in some cases, disappointing that they didn't do that, some of the players, but we are not worried about the chemistry in the Gold Cup. We played a good match against, for example, Argentina with these crop of players with only 2 days of preparation. So hopefully what we have done in the past will help us going forward to the Gold Cup.
Just another quick question. We spoke in March, and you said the aim is to win the World Cup because we are one of the better teams in Concacaf, and we have been to the semifinals before. But we now face not only the World Cup host, but the defending champions who won a tournament last night, and they're coming in with very high morale, while we on the other hand are coming in with 2 losses. Have your expectations been adjusted because of this, and how do you move on from there?
No, the expectations are the same. I think we have the players and the quality to go and reach the final stages in this tournament. And what we did 2 years ago, or 4 years ago, or 6 years ago, or 10 years ago doesn't help us and doesn't destroy anything for us. So it's just in the now. And it's the day when we face US, are we ready? We don't fear them. And we know they have a good squad. They are playing at home in front of their people, but it's going to be a good and exciting game. The most important in a tournament like this is not to lose the first game. A draw is always a good point from the first game, so you are alive until the end of the group phase.
Sorry, just one quick question.
Quickly, Rashid.
On Wednesday, the qualifiers for the World Cup wraps up. We still aren't quite sure who we're playing as a third team. What do you make of that being with qualifiers so late, and how does that affect your preparations?
I can take that.
Yeah.
It's all been accounted for because we made sure to actually watch every team leading up to the Gold Cup, and we have not expected anything because we know how brutal those games can be. So obviously St. Kitts and Nevis moving on. More expecting Curaçao to progress, and that happens. So for us, but we've been taking everything into account, all the teams, and it's been a shared effort in the technical team.
Thanks.
Right, thank you.
Thanks, Rashid. Let's go to Robert Williams, IRI FM.
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Afternoon.
Coach, 2 quick ones for you. Livingston mentioned at the top of the question and answer that there's still that elusive win. How much does this make you or put you under pressure heading into the Gold Cup?
In regards to what then?
Win. You're entering the Gold Cup without a victory after 7 matches. And I think that this might put you under some pressure heading into the tournament. What are your thoughts on that?
How am I feeling? Am I feeling the pressure? Is that the question?
Yes.
Yeah, I normally put pressure on myself. I wish, of course, that we would have registered the win. I've said that maybe too often in this press conference. But does it affect how we work? No, it doesn't. Does it affect if we think we have a good chance to do good in the tournament? No. But I put pressure on myself. I think that the pressure comes mostly from within rather than from outside.
Okay, one final one, Coach. Young Dejon Richards makes it into the 23-man squad for the Gold Cup. Against the background that we've had 2 strikers, prolific strikers in the National Premier League, Colin Anderson with about 20 goals and Trevante Stewart. What is it that has made the difference with Dejon Richards? The fact that he has not played Premier League, yes, his highest level before Trinidad, Qatar, and Jordan, he was playing schoolboy football. Can you explain that for us?
Why we select him? I think we all agree that he has qualities in his armory that is way beyond a 17-year-old. And I think he could be, and I'm saying you never know with a 17, 18, 19-year-old where the career will go. But at this stage, we believe that this kid can go all the way and be one of the best players for Jamaica in the future. But we will have to see where the future will take him, what decisions he will take, how he will use his opportunities he is getting now. So we think it is good. And we've said before as well that when you have a squad for a tournament, there is always going to be a few players that will not have a lot of playing time. And we would rather have those players young, so they will gain experience. And he's one of these guys. I think he showed today that he can be a really good impact player. He's unpredictable. He can go with the left, go with the right, good in a dribble. He's fast. So he can be a really good impact player for us. But for us, it's mainly to see him, work with him for future's sake, because hopefully he will be one of Jamaica's greatest in the future. But like I said, it's a young player. We never know. But the reason we pick him is his qualities.
Thank you very much, Coach. Just before you go, though, Coach, with regards to Damari Gray, the documentation, has that now been completed and is ready to go?
Yeah, we are extremely happy. We can say that finally there's been talks about this player for a long time here in Jamaica, that he wants to join, and he started the process. He's really eager to come and plant. If the papers would have gone through, he would have been with us here in Austria. A player I think fits the playing style of Jamaica, and he has flair, he has speed, he's a dribbler, he's a goal scorer, but foremost, he is a good individual and a good personality, and I think he will bring a lot of things into our camp, and we are looking forward meeting him in US.
Thank you very much, Coach. All the best.
Thanks very much, Robert. Let's now go to Daniel Wheeler from the Gleaner, and then we'll open the floor for the online media to get involved with the questions. Daniel?
Good. Thanks, Simon. Good afternoon, guys. Good afternoon, gents. Obviously, to piggyback off of Robert's questions, obviously, getting Damari Gray into the team setup is something that it seems that you've been wanting to get done for a while. How will he be thrown into the fire right away, and how will you use them in an attack that is now starting to get a lot crowded with a lot of good players. So how will you plan to use them? How will you use him in and to blend him in that attack?
No, like I said, he has qualities that is really, let's say, it is in line with the identity we would like to have in the Jamaica national team, the pace, the skills, the flair. So he perfectly fits to what we are trying to achieve and work on. And it's a good thing. I know it's going to be, somebody is not going to be happy when we select starting 11, but that is a good thing. That is not a bad thing. So yeah, somebody of course needs to sit on the bench, meaning that we can have impact players that can increase the quality of our team when the game is played. So if we need changes, we can put high class players, at least in our striking force. You want to add?
And yeah, it's tournament football. And if we're planning to go all the way, we're going to need some depth, and I think, I was looking at everything, for the past month in terms of how we would look with all of these attacking players and the quality that they possess, but we're always lacking in goal scoring. We have goal scoring problems, in the present. And I think with this quality we have going offensively, I think we'll solve it. And if we want to go all the way, we have to have people competing for position to push the team in every training session and every day.
Daniel, one more?
Yeah, Ben, just one more. Given the whole 6 days that you've had in Austria, what is, I guess, the one thing that has been positive that you can take away from this pregame camp, even though the results have not been there? But what are the things that are going to be that are clearly red flags going into tournaments? Obviously, defensively, how we shape up, it's a big one. But if you can give something other than that, that might be a red flag that you guys will need to address immediately to prepare for the US on Saturday.
Well, if we judge from these games, I think the focus level has not been good. So that's a red flag for me. We need to up the focus, be quicker thinking, be more alert in our game, both going forward, but especially defending and balancing. So we are not hit on the counter every time we lose possession. I think that is one thing. Maybe what this camp gave us was that we now know more about the fitness level of the players so that are here, and this is why these camps are important for every preparation for a tournament, that you can use this time to actually see from the technology today what kind of fitness level players are at. So that's a good thing for the players that came here. We are in the blind a little bit with the players that will be joining in US. About the camp?
No, it's more about regaining fresh sharpness, I'd say. Players obviously come and been away, been fatigued, and now regaining freshness. I think that's always the main key heading into a tournament. So the freshness has been higher, but now the sharpness needs to come in to play too. So that has been important for us.
And also the new players, at least they came here and understand practically what we want as a staff. So that was also a positive, and even though we still missing some players, but only one player that is coming in, tactically does not understand what we need yet. And it's a professional player that, is used to change of coaches every day of his career. So, he's tactically coming and fit in.
Thanks, Daniel. Let's now go over to Germany and hear from Andy.
Hello?
Yes, Andy, go ahead.
Can you hear me? Hello, Simon. Hello, Mr. Hallgrimsson and the coaching staff. I'm from Germany, a long Reggae Boyz supporter, and have one short question. Where is Ravel Morrison? I think he has no club. Maybe is this reason why he's not selected to the team, because I think he is a good player, very technically very good, but he have every year a new club. Yeah, maybe the problem.
Yeah, Andy, we talked about this yesterday on the press conference yesterday. So we have had Ravel in all our squads, in all our matches up till now. And so he was without the club when we played, or he was not playing for DZ when we played Mexico, but we could see him in the 2 games prior against Trinidad, so we could help him get some playing time on the pitch against Trinidad. So this is why we could select him for the Mexico camp. But we talked together then and told him that it would be difficult to pick him for the Gold Cup squad if he wasn't playing regular football. So I had a good talk with him 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago and explained just from professional reasons he deserved to know that he was not going to be selected, and he was appreciative that we did that. And hopefully, and I know he will find a good club and he will hopefully start to play well, and we can pick him for the next camp we will do.
Thank you very much, Andy, or as they say, danke. Let's now go to Leighton Levy from Sportsmax TV. And just a reminder as well, folks, you can also ask a question as well to coaches John Wall and Maron Gordon as well. Give it an opportunity for coach as well to catch his breath. But go ahead, Leighton Levy.
Well, good day, gentlemen. How are you? I have one question. Coach, you mentioned the concentration levels and alertness of the players. Could that be a factor why I am seeing a kind of a difficulty in players making themselves available for the pass while the team is in possession of the football? It's something that we seem to still have a problem with, where someone in possession of the ball and they're finding it challenging to find an available pass. Is that something that is a concern, or is it something that you think would improve in the short term?
You want to take that?
Should I take it?
Yeah, take it.
Want to hear the short version or the long version?
Whichever version is best suited to respond.
I can throw a lot of Molotov cocktails on this one, but I'm not going to hold on to that. When you can say concentration, that can be really arbitrary. For me, focus is about maintaining thinking on the next action. Would you agree? So we can never go inside of the heads of the players. This might be related to fatigue. It might be related to freshness. It might be related to a lot of short time span, a lot of games. This all relates. But for me, it's more about maintaining thinking, next action. And I don't think Jamaicans in their DNA have a lapse in that. It's more of a thing that you need to maintain and improve. And I think for that is about maintaining that during training sessions and games is the only way to work through it. There will be no magic potion coming from this coaching staff. There will be only repeated things that we do all the time to improve it. And communication is part of that too.
Leighton, you normally get a deep answer when John talks. It's
yeah, and I realize.
I'm
yeah, so this is something.
Guy.
So this is something that you're going to have to train in over time, and there's not an immediate fix for this. When I say immediate, I mean within the next few months. It's probably something that will take years.
Say challenge all youth coaches in Jamaica to actually challenge their players to maintain thinking.
But in the short term, what can we do to fix it in the short term? Is then to have the routine, to have the kind of the repetitions on the same kind of movements and passing. I think in the short term, that is what we can do before the Gold Cup and during the Gold Cup repeat the same things over and over again. But yeah, it's two versions, two answers.
Well, at least I have an idea now. So at least,
Tell you what.
wish you the best of luck in sorting that problem.
The next coffee is going to be on me, and then we can do 2 hours about it.
Okay.
No problem.
Thanks very much, Leighton. Let's now go to Giovanni Brady.
Hi, good afternoon, team. Good afternoon, guys. So my question is that I think we're only 6 games into this new regime, this new coaching reign. I personally believe that the regime, the team should get time to implement, pick, see the players, scout, evaluate that. However, among there have been, minor whispers of discontent. To Coach Hallgrimson and the coaching team, what can you say? What do you want to say to the Jamaican public to reassure them of this process? The process is something that we've been hearing about in sports for a long time. We know we're going through our own process. What can you say to reassure the Jamaican public about this process with the national team as we look at the bigger picture of qualifying for the next World Cup?
Giovanni, there was an audio echo where it chipped in and out. So I'm going to kindly ask you to repeat your question one more time so that the coaching staff can hear it. Is that okay?
A short version.
All right. You hearing me better? Hearing me?
Yes. Go ahead now.
All right. Yeah, man. So my question was just generally, I wanted the coaching staff games now winless. I personally am of the thought that, any coaching staff, especially any coaching staff, should get time. But, 1 and 2 persons within the footballing public in Jamaica may be, agitated with the results. What can Coach Hallgrimson say to these fans or to the Jamaican public to kind of reassure them of trusting in this process, his process, as we look to qualify for the next World Cup?
Understand? Positivity to tell to the public, to reassure them, for them to be confident.
No, the only thing I can say at this stage is from the past experience, from my experience at this level, I think I know what it takes to get results. I think I know how to work on those things. And at the moment, I think we need, as an organization, to improve as well, so we can implement our work a little bit better. But yeah, is a formula I've used not only once, not twice, 3 times, and I think it suits this team. But in the end, it's all about results. All coaches know that if you don't get results, then you do not stay endlessly in a job. But we believe in what we are doing, and we will continue working this way. We know in the end it will be successful, but we know as well that we need to have wins for maintaining our jobs. That goes without saying. If I understood the question right.
Yes, you understood the question right.
All right, thanks very much, Giovanni. Let's now go to Mr. Kerry James.
Hey, thanks, Simon. I'll limit to one question since we have so many people on who would like to participate. Coach Hallgrimson, you talked earlier about the issues with Ethan Pinnock, and it sounds like he'll be unavailable for the first game in Chicago at least. So first of all, wishing Ethan and the family all the best. But with Damien also recovering from a recent injury, what's your level of concern in terms of quality and depth at center back?
No, I'm not going to give it a grade, but of course, Ethan is a big part of our thoughts in this campaign. So we hope sincerely that he will join us at one stage or another. We know as well that Damien is good. He has been in contact with us, so we know he is ready to go. So he's been working on his injury, and the other players had a chance now in Austria to play. So they have at least gotten 2 games under the belt. So that is a good thing. And we have other players as well that can play these positions. A versatile player like Joel Latibatier can play all the positions in the back line. So it's good to have versatile players when you go into a tournament.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you very much, Kerry. Much appreciated there. Let's now go to Tyrone Davis.
Jump in, just if you want to ask.
Jump into the fire.
Good afternoon, Coach. Coach Gordon, Simon. Question, Coach War, or Mr. Gordon. First of all, I'm not really worried about the two results, because we should have won those two games. I don't see it was a coaching problem, but much a player problem, because we got opportunity to score and didn't score. I see you lose against Trinidad, went down to the Azteca and Mexico draw with us. Not even we draw with Mexico, Mexico draw with us. So I'm not really worried. But what are what you going to do to raise the morale of the players going into the Gold Cup on Saturday to face US? Mr. Gordon or Mr. Wong?
I think if you're not up for it against the US in the opener of Gold Cup, maybe you should take a boat somewhere in the Mediterranean instead. Just to be honest. If you don't have the morale or the boost just because of that, man, I would have taken away one of my nuts just to play that game.
Okay, all right, thank you.
All right.
And good luck.
All right, thanks so much. But seriously though, everyone, it will be a long day tomorrow for everybody part of the delegation, an early flight towards the United States. So we're only going to limit to one question per person for the remainder of the press conference. Thank you very much for your cooperation here. So with the remaining hands that are raised, only one question per person. It is an early flight tomorrow. So of course, everybody here needs to get their rest to be able to make the long journey towards the United States tomorrow. Let's go to Mr. Blake. You may proceed.
I respect the request for one question. A and B quickly. Coach, let me be quick. Coach, the Kanaya Boyz Clark did not take the pitch in any of these two games. Can you say to the fans what the rationale for that was? And if Mr. Preston, if in a future in a response now or in a future answer, can you indicate if for the games in Chicago and in St. Louis and in California, if there is a section dedicated for the away fans, especially in Chicago, because that's a normal practice, especially when you're playing the home team like the United States?
All right, thanks. We'll definitely work on that element and keep you updated, and everyone as well. Coach, Kanaya?
Yeah, let me just start on Konaya, because we hadn't had him before. Very impressive young goalkeeper, and he caught our eye on the first training session, not only because of his qualities in goal, how he presented himself, but it was his focus, his work ethic, and just a professional attitude from a young kid that really caught our eye, and we are really happy with him, even though he did not play in either of these games. And that is more or less down to fitness things. We needed to divide playing times among the players who play outside. So it's normally when you need all the changes, you keep the goalkeeper playing 90 minutes. So you always have to, or you always must have at least 5-6 players that can play 90 minutes, and one of them is normally the goalkeeper. So we definitely are happy with him. I think Jamaica is lucky to have this kid. He is a future goalkeeper for Jamaica, and I know our goalkeeper coach is really pleased with working with him, and looking forward for working with him in the Gold Cup as well. And who knows, maybe he'll get his chance during the Gold Cup. But the reason for not playing him was we needed to divide the playing times among the outfield players, because we pre-decided more or less how much playing time each player should have in the games.
Thank you very much, Mr. Blake. Now we'll go to Bertram Spence.
So I think almost all my questions seem to have come up in some way, shape, or form, but I have another one, Coach, which is goals win matches. and we've had some really good opportunities in front of goal, but haven't put them away. So, Coach, what are you working on with the players to improve their composure in front of goal so they can put those chances away? So no matter how good you play, if you can't score, you can't win.
Yeah, for the Gold Cup, we will have new faces at least to push the level up. That will at least push the guys that have been playing to a higher level. There's going to be more competition. So that's one thing. We are, of course, doing set beat drills. We are doing finishing drills. We are doing attacking third, build up and finish. So that also becomes then a routine. But I know normally this is down to confidence. This is down to being ready on the day. And you can have a guy scoring from every chance he will get in a tournament once the first goal comes. So yeah, we'll just have to wait and see, but goal scoring is difficult to teach and correct in a short time. But yeah, but we really have a lot of guys in our squad that can score goals. That goes without saying if you look at our squad.
Yes, we do have a few more questions. Just one more in the chat. Yes, Leighton, this recording will be sent to the group immediately after this conference. A reminder, one question for the remaining hands that are raised. Coach Minzy, you may go ahead.
Yes, good afternoon, everyone. Sorry about the background noise. My question is that, Coach, I guess that decision that is made, we have to trust your decision. And this is not a hit out at Dujon Whisper Richards. He's a very good kid. But on the fact that you've made mention of Ravel Morrison not having a club, not playing football, and there's a Jamal Lowe that was omitted, and the Dujon Whisper Richard is not with a club playing either. So what was behind making that decision?
I kind of expected the question on Ravel and Dijon. Is the differences, of course, the age. So that is the difference between that. Do you take it further? Do you want to answer further about this? So I don't think you mentioned Jamal Lowe.
Yes.
Yes, I did.
Yeah. So he was kind of the only one that that could not come for personal reasons. So he said, I cannot join the Gold Cup squad. So he was the only player that we wanted to have in the squad that said he could not join.
All right, Coach, thank you. Let's go to Eddie Vision TV.
Thank you very much, Simon, and hello to everyone. Bertram mentioned the fact that, we were lacking goals, but we have been conceding goals at the other end. What is more concerning, our defense or the attack?
I think, especially today, I think the attack to me is more concerning because we got so many clear-cut opportunities to score goals, and football games are like that. If you miss easy chance at your end, for some reason, the football gods will punish you. So as long as we score opportunities, I think we created much more opportunities, in the goal scoring area than in the defensive area. So it's just for us to start scoring goals and tighten up defensively, remain tactically balanced and compact, and concentrate for 90+ minutes, because that is tournament football.
Thanks, Eddie. Much appreciated there. Jermaine Brown, Tripey.
No, it's okay, Simon. My question is about Jamal Lowe, but Coach, and yes.
All right, no problem. Let's go to Jason Hall. All right, no problem. Not hearing from him. We have to press forward with Jay Taylor. You have one question.
Okay. All right. Good afternoon, Coach. My question is for John Wall. it seems like you're keen on stats and diving into those things. Have you recognized that we have been quite wasteful as a team on set pieces, and we do concede a lot of goals when it comes on to set pieces since our last campaign? And are you concerned about the lack of cohesion in the middle of the park from the team?
Yeah, obviously, I always like to blend those things because data alone would never solve anything, or the other way around. I think when it comes to set pieces, no. I think if you look objectively on this train, it's been less. Yes, Argentina, that's one free kick taken by a certain number 10. I heard he's pretty all right, that guy, by the way. He won the World Cup, won a couple of Champions League too. And then there's Mexico, which is one PK, if I'm not completely off. And in this game, it's no set piece, and against Qatar, no set pieces either. So I think it's pretty wrong, and it's kind of a media creation to talk about the facts when you usually have the answers, whereas we have to look into the future. So for me, following suit on Maron is the origin that causes the effect of things. That's more the pressing matter. And therefore, I think we can actually conclude that are hidden numbers within our ways where we're making a lot more entries into the final third than usually against fewer players. So in terms of that and pitch control, you can look that up, by the way, too. It's a pretty brand new thing, too. Which we are controlling the space in a lot more proficient way.
And we are doing, Jay, we're doing a lot of work on set pieces. So hopefully that will be one of our strengths in the Gold Cup coming.
Thank you very much, JT Taylor, and thank you very much to everybody that has tuned into this afternoon's press conference. That's where we're going to have to wrap up in terms of questions. Just a reminder as well, you can also go back on JFF Football's Instagram page and also Twitter, so you can see the graphic again of the full squad as well, and go and subscribe to JFF Live on YouTube as well for the latest interviews of players and also support staff members on tour as well. Tomorrow is when the entire delegation will depart from Austria towards the United States in Chicago. Quite a long flight, so everybody will be ensuring that they get some shut-eye and to wake up early for tomorrow. Thank you very much for tuning in. And of course, this press conference will be sent out quite shortly. So have a pleasant afternoon to everyone on the island. So take care.
Peace out.